Egypt, where the Prime Minister Sherif Ismail has been holding a crisis cabinet meeting after Russia confirmed that a bomb was the cause of the crash of an Airbus A321 plane over the Sinai 2 weeks ago. Now, the announcement will worsen the economic toll on the vital tourism sector. This week, Tourism Minister Hesham Zaazou says he expects over $800 million in losses in the country's tourism sector if the crisis in Sharm el-Sheikh continues for the next 3 months. Russia and the United Kingdom, between them, account for about 2/3 of tourist traffic into Egypt. Just a month ago, tourists from those two countries brought in around $100 million in spending through direct spending in that sector. Today, though, several countries, and that includes Britain and Russia, have all cancelled flights to the resort area after their respective governments inferred that the crash was more likely than not caused by a bomb detonating aboard the Metrojet flight.
I'm trying to work with companies, telling them that whatever you lost in Sharm, try to create special promotion campaigns and move tourist activity to other locations. This movement that we've lost in Sharm el-Sheikh, hopefully for just a short period of time, God willing, let's move it to Hurghada or Marsa Alam or Luxor or Aswan. And we've begun negotiations.
Now then, Adel Makhrouki is live in Cairo with more details on this story as it develops. Adel, we understand about 17 people are being held in connection with this bombing. What more do we know about them?
Well, the Egyptian government has denied holding anyone in detention or arresting any airport employee on charges or on suspicions of being involved in the airplane crash. It was one report from Reuters that has been confirmed by the agency several times, but at the same time, it also included that, or it had an update that the Egyptian government rejects the claims. Just about maybe an hour ago, over an hour ago, the Egyptian Interior Minister came out in the cabinet's meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, and he said that so far they have no information about anyone from the Sharm el-Sheikh airport or any government official who has connection or is responsible for the plane crash. So nothing from the Egyptian government to confirm this up till now.
Indeed, Russia, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is the biggest source market for tourists coming into Egypt. With the cancellation of flights from that country and other European destinations, quantify for us, how big a loss is the tourism sector looking at?
Well, it's definitely huge. Russia in generally and Britain together, they would represent about over 65% of the visitors that come to Egypt annually, particularly, of course, Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada, the Red Sea resorts. The Egyptian tourism minister has said that there's an estimate losses of about 2.2 billion Egyptian pounds. That's nearly $280 million monthly. Excuse me. And so far, they expect that the damage or the absence of tourism would last at least 2 more months. That is not included today's announcement of the Russian government confirming that it is a bomb that crashed the plane. We already know that about 240,000 Russian tourists have cancelled their holiday trips in the high season of the Christmas and the New Year, so that it will extend to January. We expect that maybe another 3 more months at least would come back, as long as Egypt continues the investigation. The sooner Egypt ends the investigation, the shorter the impact on tourism industry is expected, even if it confirms a terrorist bomb. So we're talking about an average here of about up to 12 billion Egyptian pounds. That's nearly $2 billion of revenues if the problem has been confined to just that period.
Indeed, this also does have quite a few implications for Egypt's monetary policy moving forward, as dollar-denominated revenues, especially from tourism, are falling. Doesn't this add to pressure on the central bank to essentially devalue the pound?
It definitely does. The government has been trying to move forward to give support to the Egyptian pound. Last week, we've seen that the US dollar drops about 30 piastres to the Egyptian pound after the Egyptian government has covered the market with an estimated from 2 to 4 billion US dollars. Now that puts burden, of course, on the foreign currency reserve that the country has, and therefore ties its hands to give more support to the Egyptian pound, or at least try to maintain the current price. tourism is one of the main sources of foreign currency for the country, and already the foreign cash reserves have been at its lowest last month. So if this crisis continues, we don't expect that the Egyptian government will have the resources or the finances to continue give its support to the Egyptian pound, and therefore further devaluation might happen within the coming months.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. That's Adel Maghrouri live in Cairo.